Looking for music that lifts your spirit and fills your heart? Experience the powerful sound of the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square. Now streaming on all your favorite music platforms. Find the Tabernacle Choir on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Pandora. Let the music of the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square inspire you today and every day. Whether you're at home, in the car, or on the go, enjoy the beauty of their world-renowned sound anytime. The Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square, streaming now.
Queen Carvania stood haloed by the morning sun. An army hung on her every word.
My champions, I have sold my chariot on Carvana. 'Twas a lovely SUV, an inexplicably queenly offer. They're even coming to the castle to collect it. Tonight, we feast. An offer you can feast on. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It's a busy weekend for the middle of August when nothing's going on, PK. You had a million stories. You kept throwing them up there. We've talked about Don Nelson passing away, basketball Hall of Famer, legend, basketball lifer. We talked about Brian Santiago and BYU going to a message board, a communications official, to squash the rumors about Santiago's future or lack of future at BYU. And you also put this up, and this got reaction. Veteran broadcaster Tim Brando has come on our show plenty of times, making predictions for the final playoff poll. What's it going to look like? And he put BYU on the outside again. And again, not by much. He ranks them 14th.
Yeah.
Timmy B's top 15. So how accurate do you think Brando will be? I looked at the teams in front of him, and there's a couple that raised some eyes right away. He's got a couple schools with coaching changes.
You raise eyes or you raise eyebrows?
Well, I raise my eyes too.
Well, they have to go together.
They do. They're linked. The eyebrows go further, though. He's got Ole Miss at 4, and he's got Penn State at 10, and they both obviously have new coaches. Now, Indiana, it's always the go-to for any outlier, any crazy thing that happens. You know, Signetti got to the playoff his first year, so not saying you can't, especially since Penn State had that expectation and Ole Miss was there. So it's not totally out of left field. Nonetheless, it raises some eyebrows. He's got a lot of the usual suspects. He did put UNLV 12.
That was a shocker.
And then
UNLV?
Yes. Well, any G5 that high is a shocker, right? And then he's got LSU at 13.
But not Boise, UNLV.
Which is another school with a brand new coach. Now, granted, a lot of money and a coach who just built a good
Ole Miss is sort of
run.
new, not entirely.
Yeah.
But
so there's a lot of maybes.
I think the thing that I took in Brando, I think, is an insider, but it's a prediction, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the statement that I took, rather than who's where and whatnot, is that only one team for the Big 12.
Yep.
That's the thing that jumped out at me.
He's got Tech at 7 and BYU at 14. He only does 15 teams. He doesn't have
And
Utah.
I listened driving in the College Station, Cannell, and I forget the other guy's name, but I know him. He's an old linebacker for Oklahoma who does broadcasting.
Bosworth.
No.
I'm just kidding. Hard time.
No, this guy's a little more level-headed here. If you said his name, I would know it. But I listen, flick around in the mornings. Well, this morning they had a Red Raider insider, so it's Texas Tech, and all his comments when they would ask him questions, his responses were basically geared to how are they going to fare in the playoff. Nothing about the regular season. I always have the 10-2 on the wheel, but I wanted to flip them off.
Well, in the 12-gamer,
Hockey is all get out.
In the 12-gamer, they don't play BYU or Utah. And I guess if you run the table, you could lose the conference and title game and still get in at 12-1, I would think.
Yeah, would two teams get in, though? I mean, and all his responses were geared to how Texas Tech is going to do in the postseason, in the playoff, not the postseason, the playoff, because it's just naturally assumed
that they're going to do it.
And you got that kind of money and all that, so I guess, and they did it last year. They steamrolled BYU and only lost one game, and they can say, oh, their quarterback was out that game, and he was, but Hammond's supposed to be ready for the first game, blah, blah, blah. So we'll see how it goes. But I think it would be a blow if it's just another one bid league again.
Yeah. But this is a version of what we talked about for years with the Pac-12. It's a blow if they don't get a team in the 4-teamer this year. And
but this is worse. When you only have 4 teams, that's another story.
0 for 4 is worse than 1 for 12. Discuss.
I think it is. That's because you knew that the other leagues that were going to get at least 2, if not 3, or all 4.
That was the 5th league out of 5, and this is the 4th league out of 4. And so either way, it feels lousy, and you want it to change.
Yeah, but to think that James Madison and Tulane have more playoff appearances than BYU and Utah is right up there saying that if the playoffs started today, the White Sox would have a bye and the Dodgers would win.
Timmy B does have Notre Dame at number 3, so there's an opportunity for BYU to go on the field and change perceptions.
That's a gigantic opportunity.
Yep.
Nationally, playoff-wise, that's probably the biggest opportunity they have because they do not play Texas Tech.
Yeah, I would drop probably. It is. I mean, the next biggest game would be BYU and Utah.
I'm assuming Notre Dame does what they're supposed to do. That's why it's a probably. The quarterback could get hurt or they could be in trouble.
They could unravel the way Penn State did.
I don't think that's going to happen. But that's why I have to go with probably because I don't know what the season is going to look like yet. Although we anticipate Notre Dame being very good, if not literally undefeated when they come in here on October 17th. So, yeah, it's a logical assumption there. As I look at BYU's schedule, I think that's 1 and Utah is 2.
And they haven't been rewarded for beating Utah in the past, so why would they be rewarded for beating Utah this year?
I think what they need is the Sun Devils to be really good. They need the Sun Devils. It would greatly help their case if the Sun Devils were good and somehow went into College Station and won that ball game. Yeah. That you need your conference brethren to do well. That will help you as long as you beat them. That's
the next best game on the schedule, and then there's a handful of games the league is supposed
TCU
to win,
we'll see.
And they better win. The TCU North Carolina game?
No, I could argue that TCU is a better team than ASU.
Oh, okay.
But we'll see how it plays out. Maybe not.
But if TCU and
TCU's
ASU,
away.
If they're really good, then that could
same thing with Arizona. Yeah. And Utah needs Houston to be really good because you have to have marquee wins.
Yeah.
Remember enjoying Saturday morning cartoons and savoring the sugary milk at the bottom of your cereal bowl? Well, Kachava's new Cinnamon French Toast all-in-one nutrition shake gives you all the nostalgic feels and benefits. Made with real cinnamon bark for rich, authentic flavor, just 2 scoops provide the complete nutrition your body craves. Take a sip of nostalgia. Go to Kachava.com and use code FITNESS for 15% off your first order. That's Kachava, KACHAVA.com, code FITNESS.
Meet Keith, loving dad, board game champ, bus driving pro.
I drive 65,000 miles in my bus each year. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. Like how there are some things I simply can't see. On my route the other day, a car tried to sneak past me and ends up right in my blind spot. I turned slowly, so accident avoided. But no car should be in the blind spot for a 40,000-pound bus. It's our roads. It's our safety.
Visit www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
And Utah and BYU both want Houston to beat Texas Tech.
Of course they do.
Everybody will be rooting for whoever's playing Texas Tech.
I got to admit,
every
listening
week.
to that guy this morning,
it irritates.
Go Cougars.
UH, baby.
Yeah.
So
for
confusing having 2 Cougars in the same league.
Yeah, well.
Such a common name.
Go Cougs and go Cougars.
Our Cougs, their Cougars. I think that the conference really needs each other to be really good and have some super teams. And I know it's counterintuitive to root for BYU to beat Notre Dame, but if they do and then you turn around and beat them, that's what it's going to take. You want to have that opportunity to get that at-large bid. And I think part of the deal with BYU tripping all over themselves at the Cowboy Stadium last year is everybody knew Tech was in and BYU was playing for their playoff lives. And that just adds pressure. And you can act like, well, they blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, they're human beings, man. A 5-foot putt with your buddies versus a 5-foot putt to win a tournament is a major difference. It's just a fact. And so with that in mind, you'd like to know that, hey, you're playing for seeding when you get to Texas in December. And I think the only way to do that is to have your team beat really good teams, which means the other teams in the conference they all need to go 3-0.
48-0 for the Big 12 in non-conference play. Not going to happen, but that's what you need.
Yeah, you do. That's a good starting point because there are 2 or 3 nice games in there. BYU and the Devils having 2 of them.
The Notre Dame and Texas A&M are the biggest.
Yeah.
But there is something to be said for sweeping the next 8 to 10 games against power teams.
I think there are. And then maybe one of those teams beats a big dog in the SEC.
Yeah. And maybe one of those teams takes off and ends up being really good. It doesn't look like in North Carolina or Arkansas or Auburn. But nonetheless, you need to go 3-0 in those games.
Right. Well,
Baylor's got to beat Auburn.
Rather than them taking off, is them sucking but beating you. That's the worst case scenario.
Terrible. Yeah, that would be terrible.
Yeah.
2-10 Arkansas gets a win. 5-win
and then they're
Auburn
no
gets
good
a win.
in the SEC.
Yeah.
That's a major blow.
Yeah. You lost to our 8th or 10th or 14th place team.
Right. We cannot have that as a Big 12 entity to get.
So TCU must beat North Carolina.
I think they should. Yes.
Would Iowa State over Iowa be the third best one? I'm trying to think what's the next best game after BYU and Texas A&M.
I'd have to go double check every single one of them.
Yeah.
And then you need Iowa to be good. And Iowa, it's a tough task in the Big Ten to be in the upper level. They are stacked at the top.
Kansas, Missouri would be another. Missouri might be pretty good. We'll see if they can win 8 or 9 or 10 games.
Yeah, they've with that what's a Drinkwitz or Drinkwater, whatever his name is, Eli. They've seemed like they've rebounded a little bit, and they're decent. But yeah, you simply need that, and I think it would be a major blow. Now, I mean, you could say, well, is it a really major blow? The committee or subcommittees meeting today, this very day, on playoff expansion, and if it gets to 16, or I've even heard now maybe 20, 24. The compromise being 20. I still think it matters because what has to happen when that playoff is expanded, that the Big 12 has momentum in terms of number of teams, and then the next logical step is success in that playoff. You can't – the Devils showed well against Texas. Texas Tech bombed against Oregon. They sucked. Can't have that.
So at 20 teams, can you get 3 in, maybe 4?
Yes, and you've got to go in with momentum where the mindset is, well, yeah, we got to include them because look what they've done when they've gotten the bids. Yeah. Hey, the human element, I've been saying with the NCAA tournament for decades, this is the reality of it. You cannot eliminate the human element, which a lot of it is perception, which is why the Big Ten and SEC are going to get 5, 6 teams, depending on how big the thing is. And you want to be right there. You can't, if the SEC and the Big Ten are getting 12 teams in, half of them, you can't just get 2.
At what point does the SEC's lack of success catch up with them?
Never.
2 and 8.
Not in my lifetime, and I'm as old as crap. I don't even know if I'm going to be alive Sunday.
2 and 8. That's a 49er coordinator.
Thanks,
You can't mix that.
Well, you got a couple Irish people there, man. We think alike.
The SEC's 2 and 8 against the other power leagues the last 3 years. At some point, that's got to catch up with them.
I don't see it. Who's
but
catching?
To your point, if Auburn goes out and beats Baylor, then they'll just go, see? There aren't that many SEC Big 12 games.
I think reps
Arkansas, Utah's
are hard to build, and you can argue harder to destroy, if destroy is the right word.
It is the right word. I think it's actually exactly the right word because a rep, you can be down for a decade or 2. Miami would be a great example of that. Alabama before Saban would be a great example of that. And as soon as you get good again, they're back.
It's restored.
Yeah, it's restored like that.
We've seen that with BYU. The isolation of independence, they were off the radar. But now they've won double-digit games and all that. Seems like they're back. National brand. I saw Jay Drew had a story in the D News about Colorado State talking about how that when they go over there, that's going to be the biggest opponent they've had in their stadium because it's a national brand. And all the folks over there in Fort Collins, they all remember BYU. Obviously they do, right? So I think you're right. You can have that gap, but once that gap is closed, it's like what you had before comes back much easier.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Very quickly.
I think we're seeing it a little bit with Boise. They had a real good run, slipped a little bit, and they kept going through coaches with guys taking off. Well, now I think they've reestablished it, and we think, oh, yeah, Boise, boom, favorite.
Heavy favorite in the Pac-12 this year.
Yeah.
Got a lot of first-place votes.
Right.
I knew I was forgetting another Big 12 game. The reason I forgot it is because I don't think that team has any chance. Oklahoma State's playing Oregon. I knew there was another mega opponent out there.
Oh, man, you're just downgrading Menstermaker, whatever his name is, Eric Morris, and the mean green of Red Raiderville, or Green Raiderville, whatever they were over there in North Texas.
The mean green.
Just mangling that.
Yeah, I'll get to it.
You will eventually.
The North Texas Mean Green, the Texas Tech Red Raiders, and some of the Oklahoma State Cowboys are also in the mix here.
Yeah. And I'll be rooting for how about them Cowboys?
Thanks, Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean,
Jim and Jarrah.
I'll go to my grave. It'll be hard for me to root for the money green of the Oregon Ducks. It's a good thing their color is green because that's how they got to be where they were.
Hey-o.
Right? Literal green.
Best thing that's ever happened to you financially. Go.
Easy. Sold my car on Carvana. Amazing offer.
Really? I hit 200 on the scratcher.
Did the scratcher come to your house and hand you a check?
No.
How many scratchers did you hit to get that? I hit a button on Carvana.com once.
Okay, that's fair.
It's like the lottery, except you always win.
Not like the lottery at all, actually.
Exactly. Inexplicably good. Offers worth bragging about. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.